sure you hit the follow button below the video so you can get an alert anytime we go live for any cooking series. All the products here I'm using are shoppable. It's in the carousel attached to this live stream. We're currently live, so make sure you drop questions and comments. I love questions, you guys. Let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I can't wait to answer your questions while I'm cooking. So let's get started. Hi, Nicole. Nicole wants to say, what am I making? Well, I'm making almond blueberry coffee cake, blue diamond almond flour. Okay, who doesn't love coffee cake? I do. I even have some coffee over here, which we'll drink later. And this is so great. It's gluten-free. It's 100% almond flour. It's really quick and easy to make. And honestly, once it's done, you won't be able to keep your hands off of it. It's made like a typical cake. And we're going to make the cake part, and then we're going to make a little streusel topping. To me, that's the best part of the coffee cake, when you get those crunchy bits, those big nuggets of streusel. There's a coffee cake place that my dear friend who's with me today, Chef Arian, always gets us coffee cake from in the summer, Muller's in Bayhead. Was it Bayhead? Yes. Any Jersey people out there, definitely send me a comment. Ooh, somebody wants to know what my favorite thing to bake is. You know, I don't bake that much, which a lot of people know about me. I'm an impatient baker, but I have a terrible sweet tooth. So I like to make cookies because cookies are so easy to eat and easy to make. Okay, so I'm using the stand mixer, starting out creaming 3 ounces of butter, about 2/3 of a cup of granulated sugar. If you're cooking along or if you're taking notes, take note. This is also on the Blue Diamond website, so you can get the recipes. And then, of course, I'm going to use almond flour. We're going to do it a little bit out of order. Typically, we would cream the butter and sugar and then put in the egg and then put in the dry ingredients. Because we want to have only almond flour, we'll put that in right after we cream the butter and sugar. So make a little noise, but that's okay. While I'm making noise, don't forget, go shopping because everything's shoppable on our carousel. Also, don't forget to ask me questions and tell me where you're tuning in from and what you like to bake. What are you making for Mom on Sunday? Are you making brunch? Are you making biscuits? Are you making shortbreads? I always love shortbread with strawberry and whipped cream. This is the perfect time of year for berries. We're using blueberries. And I try not to eat them, but I have to. Okay, we're creaming butter and sugar until it gets nice and soft and smooth, and you can tell the sugar is all melted with the butter. Haley's asking, what am I doing for Mother's Day? Well, of course, I'm going to see Mom. We're going to celebrate the day before because my brother's in town, so she likes sweet treats as well, so I may bring her a little extra coffee cake. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to scrape it down, make sure all the sugar is mixed with the butter. Michelle wants to know, do I like fresh or frozen blueberries? That's an awesome question, Michelle, because for this recipe, you have to use fresh. And I don't normally say that. I will normally tell you that everything's sort of interchangeable. Fresh is not as wet, and this recipe needs to have fresh instead of frozen. Frozen will add too much water here, and you'll see why. This almond flour is so rich and fatty and delicious in the best way. These are good fats, and so you don't want any extra liquid at all. It's so moist and tender. All right. So any of you bakers out there know what to look for when you're creaming butter and sugar. It should get pale. It should feel incorporated. You shouldn't even hear those granules anymore going around. And then, like I said, it's kind of the opposite. Normally, we would add in the 2 eggs right now, but we're going to add in the dry ingredients first. So I have the almond flour. It's about 1.5 cups of Blue Diamond almond flour, and then I'm adding all the other dry. Again, same baking elements. Baking powder, that's about 1.5 teaspoons, pinch of salt. Salt goes a long way in baking, you guys. Don't skip on the salt. And what I do is I usually mix those dry ingredients together with a fork, or, oh my God, this is in my shopping cart right now, this little mini whisk. It's adorable. So it breaks up the almond flour a little bit, and then it incorporates the baking powder. You don't want to have clumps of baking powder because then it won't do what it's supposed to do. Baking powder helps things rise in cakes and cookies and batters. So you need that to go all throughout your coffee cake. Okay, so I'm going to start up again and just add this in slowly, just so it incorporates well. It goes real fast. So while I'm doing this, let me know what your questions are. Let me know what you're baking. Let me know what you're cooking. Ask me anything about chopped. Ask me anything about blue diamond almond flour. I think I'll be able to answer. Wait. Great question. Okay, here's what just came in. Do we need to change the ratio for almond flour? This is the question, hot topic. Okay, if you're baking with almond flour, it is a different ratio than all-purpose flour, but it also works without all-purpose flour 100%. So you have to get to know these recipes. You have to get to know it. I've been playing around with blue diamond almond flour a lot lately, working on these recipes. I've been using it in savory preparations. I would coat fish with it for tacos. I've done chicken cutlets with blue diamond almond flour and Parmesan. Highly recommend trying that. It is so delicious. It's crispy and crunchy. So the ratio is not equal, but play with it on its own, because that's really where the fun happens, you guys. You don't need the all-purpose flour for coating things, and you'll see in both of these recipes, it's 100% blue diamond almond flour. So these are gluten-free, which we all love. I know a lot of my family members have gluten sensitivities, and it's really important to expand your baking repertoire and have some of this stuff. Okay. Oh, Michelle asked a hard question. Who's your favorite co-host on Chopped? I love everybody. What are you talking about, Michelle? All the Chopped judges are like my family, honestly. We've been doing it together for so long. Scott Conant makes me laugh. Mark Murphy eats all the food. Jeffrey Zakarian's always the best dress. Chris Santos is just rock and roll, dude. You know Alex, she's got all her metaphors and analogies. We're always listening to her. So Manit is spicy. I mean, we just have a blast, all of us together. So I can't pick a favorite. Can I say Ted? I love my Ted Allen. Ted, if you're watching, which I know you're not, what's up? Hi, can't wait to get started again, because we're starting to film again in September, you guys. So look out for some new crazy episodes with weird baskets and lots of fun stuff. Okay, so the almond flour is in, and I don't know if you can see inside of here, but the cool part about this is it's combines so quickly, and it's almost ready. It almost could be just a cookie dough on its own. But once we add in the egg, then we have a batter. I just wanted you to see that. I get excited about stuff like this. And sometimes I eat the batter. I don't know if you guys do that, but I do. We're going to add, for flavor, lemon zest and vanilla extract, of course. But you could add any other zest you like, right? I think orange would go well. We're going to do a little tip and trick with our shortbread cookies for orange to go in there. But lemon for me with blueberries is just a classic flavor combination. So I'm going to put a little bit of lemon zest. I'm just going to go right ahead into my vanilla. That's my old school way. I don't know if you guys have seen. This is actually a really great way. When you run the microplane across the lemon, you actually get more that way. So either way, whatever you're used to, but try both. And if you don't have one of these, you know what to do. Get shopping. Go shopping, you guys. So you can combine the vanilla and the lemon with the egg, or you can just put it in on its own. But what I'm going to do with the egg, just like any other typical cake batter, one at a time. So put one egg in, let it combine, and then put the other. And you'll see the second one usually takes another couple seconds to get in there and absorbed. I have some questions. Oh, great. Kezi, what's up, Kezi? Kezi, I think you're in Philadelphia. What is your favorite Blue Diamond almond snack flavor? Oh my God, I was just eating honey roasted almonds before, and I'm in love with the ranch flavored nut thins. I can confess here, my name is Amanda, and I ate a whole box of ranch flavored nut thins. They're so good. And I'm not just saying that. It really is delicious. I love them all. Addicted. I almost ate a whole jar of those honey roasted almonds today. So I can't pick a favorite, but those are two top of mind right now. Okay, that batter's almost done. Karina's asking, where did I learn to cook? Well, I did go to the Culinary Institute of America, which is in Hyde Park, New York, but some people call it the Harvard of Culinary School. But honestly, we got the basics there, right? Hard knocks in kitchens, lots of experiences, really where I learned to cook. That's how it goes. You get the basics in school, and when you come out, you just keep practicing, practicing, practicing. Okay, so that batter is ready. Another question is, are you on social media? Of course I'm on social media. My Instagram, Chef Amanda, at Chef Amanda F. Get it? A-F, Amanda F. On Facebook, I'm just Chef Amanda Freitag. Twitter, Amanda Freitag. TikTok, I'm working on Amanda Freitag. You'll see most of my stuff on Instagram. Follow me, tag me. If you make this, especially tag me. I want to see your coffee cake. I want to see your almond flour coffee cake. Okay, so this little trick right here is great for any time you're making any kind of cobbler or buckle or pie with fresh berries. I'm just tossing the blueberry with a little bit of cornstarch. A tablespoon of cornstarch exactly with 1 cup of blueberries. And that just keeps those blueberries from giving off too much of their liquid, and it keeps them whole. That cornstarch sort of coats the outside, keeps them nice and tender and juicy, and when you're cutting through the coffee cake, you'll still see them. They won't just be like a puree. That is, excuse me, that's why you don't want to use frozen, because you can't do this. You need to do it. Okay, what's my favorite spring flavor? Asked Ashley. You know, I'm kind of into the strawberry rhubarb combination in spring. I really love it. It's tart, it's sweet, it's pink. So I like that sweet flavor combination. I also really like asparagus and peas, ramps, which is a wild onion for savory stuff. Any kind of thing that is just green, 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 green. So I'm just greasing this pan. The most important thing here, make sure you get every corner, every nook and cranny, right? You don't want your coffee cake to stick to the pan. This is an awesome pan. I think I may be taking it home with me. Not only is it the perfect size for brownies, for this coffee cake, for cornbread, things like that, but it has a lid. It has a plastic lid, I'll show you later, that you can bring this over to somebody's house. I cook a lot at home and then bring it to mom's, and so this would be perfect to travel with. When you cook it, bake it, leave it in here, put the lid on. I love it, and I'm not just saying that. Okay, Julia asks, what else do you love making with Blue Diamond almond flour? Well, I was just talking about those chicken cutlets that I love, making the fish taco, and the fish is coated in almond flour. So delicious. How about my other recipe, which is a Blue Diamond almond flour souffle? Yes, I know everybody thinks souffles are so complicated. They're not. They're not that complicated. So it actually is delicious almond flavor to the max. It's like almond flour, almond milk, almond extract. So if you're an almond fan, almond souffle recipes for you. Okay, so what I do here, because we're highlighting blueberries, because we really want all of the good stuff that go into this recipe to hit every level of the bite, we're gonna have the cake on the bottom, blueberries in the middle, more cake, and then the streusel on top. By the way, if you're cooking along with me, your oven should be preheated to 350, okay? I know I'm supposed to say that at the beginning. I forgot. I'm busy. One Amazon customer says, nut thins are fire. I agree. And if you've ever tried the sriracha flavor, yes, they are spicy too. I love them. And I think my dear friend Victoria is a little bit addicted to them as well. Oh my God, Caitlin wants to know, what are the 3 things you bought on Amazon? 3? I wish I had only bought 3 things on Amazon. I shop on Amazon all the time. The last couple of things I bought included A cell phone case for my new cell phone. I bought some paper towels. So random. I bought a sweatshirt, believe it or not. I get clothes on Amazon as well. I buy so much. Oh my God, Ashley. Ashley says, happy birthday. How did you know it's my birthday, Ashley? Nobody's supposed to know that. If anybody's a music fan, I'm a big fan of Prince. And Prince says, you have one birthday. That's it, the day you're born. So I had one birthday, so I'm super young. So that idea, anyway, age is just a number. I feel great. I'm happy to be here today, and I get to have all these sweet treats with you guys. Great questions, everybody. So if you're watching along, the blueberries just went in. You can spread them out, make sure they hit the sides, make sure they're not overlapping too much, but you don't have to get fancy or fussy. And then the other half is going on top. And you don't have to use a stand mixer. I think that was a question that was asked. You can use a hand beater. You can even probably use a hand blender. But I would be careful not to overwork the almond flour or the butter. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm just going to use this spoon until I'm in a good place. I'm spreading the rest of that batter over the blueberries. And again, the thing I love about this recipe is you really don't have to get too fussy. What'll happen in the oven, magic, first of all. Second of all, the blueberries will sink and the whole thing will bake together. And we're going to put streusel on top of this as well. So you could use your offset spatula if you have one of these. If you don't have one of these, you know what to do. If it's not on the carousel, just search offset spatula. There's so many different sizes. And honestly, it's such a versatile tool. I use it for so many different things in the kitchen. Obviously for baking, I use it to flip things in the pan. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that or not, but I'll use it as like an actual spatula to flip a piece of fish, or if I'm frying something like a piece of tofu, this is great for flipping tofu. Okay, so that's it. Done with that. Don't lose that offset spatula. That's Arian's, Chef Arian lent me that offset spatula. If there's any chefs out there watching, you know how possessive we are with our tools. So now we're gonna make the streusel. And this is super, super duper fun because you can do this for other things too. You can make a fruit crisp with these. You can put this on top of any kind of coffee cake recipe that you have. And again, it's all almond flour. And this to me is just a dream, right? It's butter and it's almond flour and some spices and sugar. That's it. I mean, basically everything goes in, right? We have the almond flour, 1 1/4 cup. We're gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, because cinnamon and streusel makes a lot of sense. If you wanna use cardamom, go ahead. If you wanna use nutmeg, if you wanna use any other spice, go ahead and use it. A pinch of salt, again, salt goes a long way in baking. Brown sugar, packed brown sugar, that is. And, okay, listen. 1 teaspoon of sweet baking spice. What is that? Sweet baking spice is my spice, my AF Spice line. You can go to my website and buy some. It's coffee and cardamom and maple. It is so delicious. There's something about cardamom and coffee that goes so well together. When you travel through the Mideast, they actually serve you coffee infused with cardamom when you walk into a restaurant. That is your first sip of something. And it's just so comforting and satisfying. So that's my spice mix. Obviously, if you don't have it yet, but when you get it, you're ordering it right now. Before that, you can just use some ground coffee or ground espresso. Coffee cake, get it? Makes sense, put a little coffee in your coffee cake. Yes, anybody with me? Okay. Michelle wants to know if I eat raw batter. Yes, I eat raw batter. Yes, and I'm still here, so there's nothing wrong with doing it. Willie wants to know what my favorite spice to cook with is. Honestly, cardamom for sweet things. My dad used to make these cardamom sugar cookies. And for spicy things, I like cayenne, or I like smoked hot paprika, or I use a lot of hot sauces or Calabrian chilies. I like spice. Okay, so I'm gonna pulse this for a quick second. Okay, just to get it combined, right? We talked about that before. You can do that by hand as well if you wanted to use a fork or that perfect little tiny little whisk. Just make sure that brown sugar is broken up the way you want it to be. And then in goes cold butter, right? This is 3 ounces of cold butter. I dice it, put it in a bowl, and then I put it back in the fridge so it stays cold because you want to make those nice chunks. You don't want it to melt and clump together. Okay. That's it. I mean, we're doing this live. You guys, we're live. We're live. We're Amazon Live with Blue Diamond Culinary. We're using almond flour. If you're here with me, it's an exciting day. We're making streusel. We're about to go in the oven. It's all happening. Ask me questions. Ask me almost anything. Oh, somebody wants to know if I'm having a special meal for my birthday. Well, I had a delicious turkey sandwich made by Chef Arian. She made it with lots of love. I could taste it. And then I have no idea. If I had my druthers, I'd probably have a pizza for dinner. So a pizza or a burger. I'm just simple that way. All right, let's blend in, pulse in that butter. And you really just want it to get incorporated. You want it to look like little tiny crumbs. I'm going to give it one more little hit. And then that's it. That butter was perfect temperature. If it was warmer, it might have clumped a bit. Now, one of my favorite things about teaching cooking is talking about tips and tricks, right? So if you have your food processor, there's a little hole on the bottom where you can put your finger to hold the blade. This is a chef trick right here. Instead of dirtying another bowl or taking time, which chefs don't have a lot of time, we will just go from here, right? But since that can be a little dangerous, you hold that blade with your finger so it doesn't fall out. That's a tip and a trick. You can pour it out into a bowl, but also hold on to that blade while you're pouring. You know how sometimes you pour out of a food processor and the blade just pops out? Hold on to it. What I always say for people who are learning how to cook or intimidated in the kitchen is you're in control, right? You're in control. It's the food. The food is not controlling you. You are in control of the food. I think a lot of people panic when they're scared of cooking. Don't panic. Just take your minute. If you feel like things are going too fast or it's out of control, baking, I think, is more appealing to people because they can control it. The recipe is very exact. When you're cooking, sometimes your food gets out of control. It might be cooking too much. It might be simmering too hard. You're the boss. Okay, so since you're the boss, you can put on as much streusel topping as you want or as little as you want. I'm going to use almost all of it, and I'm going to sort of spread it evenly. I might even clump some of it together to make those big. You can take it and clump it a little and make those nuggets, because that's going to be my piece right there with the nugget on it. My dad used to love coffee cake as well. We would get a certain brand. I don't even know if I can say it. Can I say Entenmann's? He used to get the Entenmann's coffee cake. He loved it. And he would toast it, have it with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. For me, he never drank coffee. I was the coffee drinker. Okay, so that's a fair amount of streusel. If you have a little bit left, fine. Keep it. It lasts in a little bag in the freezer, in the refrigerator. It lasts. It's just sugar and butter. Okay, so we're going into the oven, 350 degrees. You're going about 40 to 50 minutes. You are going to check it with a skewer or a toothpick or a cake tester like you normally would. But just keep in mind that, again, almond flour is a little bit moister than what you may be used to. So it may come out looking like a little bit is on your skewer or your toothpick, but it's fine. So we're going in. It's very exciting, you guys. If you have any questions, okay, where can we find this recipe is a great question. You can go to Blue Diamond, and the recipe is there. Look for spring baking. Look for this face. You'll find the recipe. Who's that, my kitchen? Chef Arian, everybody. Woo! You're only as good as your team, people. You're only as good as your team. And I have an amazing team. So we are moving into shortbread cookies. Almond shortbread cookie with quote unquote optional lemon curd. Okay, you guys, if you can make the lemon curd, do it. If you can buy it, go ahead. I'm going to show you. It's going to be fantastic. This whole idea for me of cookies with curd came to me when I was writing my cookbook, which happens to be right here because guess what, guys? It is on the carousel. It's called The Chef Next Door. Honestly, not just because it's mine, it's a really good basic cookbook to get you comfortable in the kitchen. There's 100 recipes. There's a chapter that says what's for dinner, right? Is that the question every night? What's for dinner? Everybody wants to know. So that will really help you. And it graduates. It goes from basics to scary stuff. So once you get to the end of the book, you get scary stuff, meaning like seared scallops or how to clean artichokes or live lobster. So grab the book. It's a great basic. And I'm just really, really proud of it. I wanted to give the home cook something to work from because I've worked in commercial professional kitchens my whole life. I had a stint in between restaurants where I was working at home in a tiny galley kitchen, and I realized how hard it is. Cooks who cook at home, it's very different than if you work in a restaurant. I want to tell you that. So I admire what you do, and I wanted to give you something to help you out and just have fun with. There's a lot of great recipes in there. They all have great memories along with them. You know, there's an angel food cake from my dad. There's a beef stew from my dad. There's corned beef and cabbage recipe that's meant for my mom because every year we make it together, and every year she says, "How long do you cook the corned beef?" So it's in there for her, Mom. It's in there for you. Is there a recipe in there for you?
Probably several.
So there are several recipes in there for Arian, and we love it. Ooh, Andy wants to know what my top 3 favorite restaurants in New York City are. Well, we are in New York City. We are live in New York City in the Amazon studios. That is one of the hardest questions people ask me all the time, what my favorite restaurants are in New York. I love them all. I eat a lot of ethnic cuisine because I live here, so I'll get a lot of takeout. I travel a lot, so when I'm home, I don't go out as much. Although there's an amazing Italian restaurant, kind of fusion in the West Village called Don Angie. They are fantastic. Check them out. They have a wonderful cookbook as well, probably on Amazon.com. And there's a fun, really cool place, kind of Lower East Side, kind of East Village, NOLA. It's called Thai Diner. Oh my God. If you like Thai food, this place is fantastic. Drinks are delicious. It's just fun, so much fun. And I love Ernesto's all the way down on the Lower East Side. Spanish, a little tapas action, great chef. So that gives you a little range, right? Little range. I also love Cafe China, which is Szechuan, and that's in my neighborhood, and they come right to my door. So I love that as well. Anyway, so we're going to move on to shortbreads. I could talk all day. So shortbread cookie. Who doesn't love a shortbread cookie? Shortbread cookies dipped in milk, dipped in tea, just eaten by themselves. And this recipe, I mean, I feel like Blue Diamond almond flour was made for shortbread cookies. Shortbread cookies have this sandy quality to them, right? They just melt in your mouth and they're buttery. That's the same thing about almond flour. It's really fine. It's really delicious, and buttery in a way, that fattiness from the almond, but obviously, like I said, good fat. And you need no all-purpose flour with this at all. This is straight up almond flour, very few ingredients in this. And again, similar to a regular old cookie, the way you would do this, just because it's almond flour, you guys, doesn't mean that these techniques change. Maybe one step, right? Maybe we add the eggs after the flour for the cake. And for the cookie, it's pretty much the same. So I'm going to add in 10 tablespoons of butter. It's actually softened. So we're going to get creaming right away. And then I'm using powdered sugar and granulated sugar. Maybe this one tip and trick that you don't know is that trick, powdered sugar has cornstarch. Does everybody know that? There's a reason why we use it, is sometimes it actually helps thicken. It's a different, obviously, texture than regular sugar, but it has a little cornstarch in it. So that's why it doesn't lump. That's why it looks so white. I love it. I love doing a blend, and that makes this recipe also very, very tender. So again, a little bit of salt in here. Now you could go more salt if you wanted that sort of salty sweet thing, and you can put just about any spice that you like into this shortbread cookie. Take this recipe, you guys, and make it your own. That's what I always say about recipes. They're a guideline, right? I know we get so attached to the recipe and we're like, okay, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Make it once and then put a twist on it, right? Add lavender, add some cocoa powder, add another spice to this. I recommend orange zest. We have some lemon zest here because we're pairing it with lemon curd. Orange and almond go so well together. I made them once with a little bit of rosemary and orange. So really get experimental. That's what we do as chefs. We take recipes that are originals and classics and we put a twist on it. That's why I like to travel so much. I go to another place, I get inspired, I see a dish, I come back, I'm like, ooh, let me put that spice in my classic chicken dish and make it different. Or let me try one of their dishes and get inspired. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon today since it's here. And I'm gonna get these sugars nice and smooth, nice and creamy. And these recipes, I don't know if you just tuned in, but they are all being made with Blue Diamond almond flour. I'm in love with Blue Diamond almond flour because of the high quality, because of it's finely sifted, because it's vegan, it's paleo, gluten-free, anything you could think of, kosher, non-GMO. It is so good to work with. I've been having so much fun trying it on different things, different savory preparations, different baking preparations. It's really, I'm just gonna keep going, you guys, and I'm just gonna see what we can make, how many different things we can make with almond flour. And these two recipes have similar overlap ingredients, which I like because you don't have to go out and buy 1,000 things, right? You've got some lemons, you've got some butter, you got your almond flour, you got some sugar. Everybody has these things in the house. It's nothing crazy. That's why actually the book itself too, I made sure, and Mom, I think you're watching, I made sure that somebody like my mom could go to her grocery store and get every single ingredient to make these recipes in that book. She's not gonna have to go somewhere gourmet or to a specialty store. And that sometimes is a hindrance. When you have to get a special ingredients for a recipe, that like you start reading the recipe and you're like, oh, I don't know where to get it, I'm not gonna make it. I wanna make everything easy for you to get in the kitchen and cook. So this is, again, if you've been watching, you see, it's butter, it's sugar, it's salt, it's almond flour. You could probably take something out of your cupboard right now and make one of these. I make really good pantry meals. Like if I don't have anything in the house, I can go into the pantry, go in the fridge, and make a meal out of what some people would say nothing, but it's actually a really good way to cook sometimes. And it might remind you of a little show called Chopped. I always say that Chopped is like that moment where you're trying to figure out what to make for dinner, and you open that fridge door 10 different times, because every time you look in there, you think something different is going to be in there, and it's not. It's the same every time. And you're looking in there, and you're like, okay, what do I do with eggs, leftover steak, and, you know, some almond milk? All right, well, I'm going to make a dish somehow, some way. And you do it, and I do it. And there's a lot of people who do that every night. And maybe their family's now judgy or judges because of us. Sorry about that, guys. But you got to keep trying. You just got to keep trying. What's the worst thing that can happen? You call for takeout or get pizza. Okay, that's it. So get that butter nice and smooth, nice and creamy. Then I'm going to add in the almond flour. And then you have this beautiful shortbread dough. And this would be great for Christmas cookies, holidays, when they come up. Keep this recipe in your back pocket because you can chill it, put it in the fridge, and it's just there, right? You're going to go to somebody's house, pull out a little bit, make some cookies, put them in a tin, bring them over. It's really one of those recipes that can impress. It's very impressive, but it's very simple. It's easy AF, you guys. Have I said that? I haven't said that since the beginning. This is easy AF. Easy almond flour, easy Amanda Freitag, easy to make, easy as AF, something else, whatever you want to say. I can't curse here. But you can at home, because we're live from the Amazon studios. Blue Diamond Culinary, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Send questions. Do we have any new questions? Ooh. Heather asked, if I had to create the perfect day of meals, what would it consist of? Great question. I'm very fortunate to have had many perfect days of meals. I would start out with a beautiful omelet. You know, I love breakfast. Perfect cup of coffee, maybe some fruit. And then for lunch, I would have a big, fat, juicy burger and fries and probably a beer because I'm that kind of girl. Uh, and then for dinner, if I'm still hungry, I have a beautiful bowl of fresh pasta, something really simple like a carbonara or maybe even just a pomodoro, something really, really clean and simple. And then, of course, there might be wine and cocktails involved. A little after dinner drink, a little before drink, a little digestive, and chocolate cake or coconut cake. Okay. So you've got me talking about my perfect meals. Yolanda wants to know where I get my cooking inspiration from. That is such a great question. I've been inspired by a lot of people over my career, but when I first started, it wasn't necessarily from my parents. Both my parents worked very hard, and they did cook, but you know, mostly on the weekends when they had time, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. My grandmother was a baker. She loved to bake because, again, she had a sweet tooth, seems to run the family. My dad liked to cook. My grandfather was more of a savory cook, but honestly, I was the star student in home economics. I know that sounds ridiculous, but without Joan Levine, and Joan, if you're watching, thank you, who was my home ec teacher, telling me about culinary school and then taking me on a tour of the CIA, Culinary Institute of America, I wouldn't have known about it, and I wouldn't have had the career that I have. So thanks, Joan. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for getting me there. And, you know, the other inspiration is so basic. I know this doesn't seem like a real answer. I love to eat. I just love to eat. So I eat, somebody was asking me before if I eat raw dough. I eat everything I'm cooking in the kitchen, especially this cookie dough. And the lemon in there is good. Arian, the lemon in there is so good. Anyway, so eating. In my family, if you're sick, you should probably eat. If you're tired, eat a little something. If you don't feel good, sick to your stomach, have a cracker. Like everything, if you're happy, let's celebrate, let's eat. And then we're sitting at lunch, we're talking about what we're gonna have for dinner. So everything is food, 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 food. Okay, so wrap up your cookie dough, get it chilled, we're gonna roll it out. You can put it into a rectangle, a square, whatever you are going to decide to cut it. If you're gonna do circles, put it in a circle. Help yourself out. If you're gonna do squares or rectangles, chill it in that shape. So we're gonna do a little bit of both. We're gonna show you. So we're gonna move over into the refrigerator. There's a dough in here. Okay. I wish that you could smell what's happening right here. Should we take a look? You guys, if you're just tuning in, we have a Blue Diamond almond flour blueberry coffee cake in the oven. What? With streusel topping. It smells so good. I can't wait to dig into it. And we're making shortbread cookies. And then I have this thing, which I'm hoping will go viral after today. Cookies and curd, people. Cookies and curd. It's just like chips and dip. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Oh my God, Lizzie! Is that my niece Lizzie? I hope it is. She says, "Who is your favorite person to cook with?" You, Lizzie. If that's not my niece Lizzie, my nieces are some of my favorite people to cook with, Lizzie and Megan. Actually, Lizzie's birthday is this month, as well as mine, and Megan is graduating college. Congratulations, Megan, you did it. And now I'm old. So thanks for that. What is the one kitchen tool you can't live without is a question. Ooh, and then the second part of that question is, what's the most overrated kitchen tool? Look, I actually can't live without the microplane. I use it for everything. I use it for lemon zest, orange zest, lime zest, grapefruit zest. I use it for grating Parmesan. I use it for grating ginger. I even use it for grating garlic. It is so versatile. And so on the garlic tip, I personally don't use a garlic press. I'm not saying it's overrated, but it's something that I don't have in my kitchen. That's all. So if you were like me and smart, you would have pulled this out a little sooner, so it's a little bit softer, but that's okay. It'll warm up and we'll start to roll it out in a second while we take more questions. Josh wants to know, what is the one dish we will never catch me eating? Josh, I eat everything. I eat just about everything. I was just telling a story about being in Copenhagen and going to the best restaurant in the world called Noma, and they served live shrimp. And I thought to myself, okay, I can do this. I can do it. I can eat live shrimp. I have to try it. I'm a chef. I couldn't do it. So Josh, I can't eat live shrimp. I know that seems obscure, but I can't do it. I tried. Anyway, so while we're waiting for the dough to soften a little bit, I'm going to show you the lemon curd since we have a little bit of time. Now, this is for the adventurous chefs if you're going to make it directly on the stove. If you're scared of curdling your curd, make it in a double boiler, right? Double boiler means simmering water on the bottom, bowl on top, whisk until it gets thick. But I've made this recipe a bunch of times. I know how to do it. You know those things where they say, don't try this at home? Try this at home. Try it at home. I think I'm working this the right way. Oh, it's very hot, says Chef Arian in the background. 13? 2. Oh, 2. If you've ever cooked with me, you know I like to go extreme. Chef Lauren's always like, take it easy. Okay, so this is actually a really great little thing. I love these hot plates. I'm turning it up, you guys. Nobody can stop me. I'm in control, right? Didn't I tell you guys you're in control in the kitchen? Well, I'm in control. Okay, I'm going to warm up the lemon juice and the butter together first. That's fresh lemon. Please, if you can, use fresh juice. Squeeze it with your hands. There's lots of lemon squeezers on Amazon. Buy one, buy the kind that squeezes together, buy the kind that is old school, whatever you like, but fresh lemon, there's nothing like it. And actually, that's one of the things I can't live without, lemon and olive oil in the kitchen. Okay, so we are using confectioner sugar for the sifter. Not in our curd. We're going to use regular sugar. So 3 ounces lemon juice, 2 ounces butter, and 3 ounces of sugar, guys. And I haven't even had any drinks yet. Okay, so we're going to warm that all together. And that'll melt. And the reason why I say this is a little bit scary to do it directly on the fire is because we're going to whisk in egg yolks, solely egg yolks. And that could curdle almost instantly, right? We don't even have the protection of the whites here. So like I said, if you're feeling a little bit scared to put it right on the stovetop, go ahead and do it as a double boiler. Any more questions? Erica says, what city do you think has the best food? Oh my God. Okay, I can't say any one city because then all the other cities will be mad at me. Paris? Bologna, where I just was. Rome has pretty damn good food. Barcelona's not so bad. I've had an amazing, amazing time traveling through Jordan and Israel. Tel Aviv had some crazy good food. What about New York City? I kind of like it. I live here. Another question says, do you have any pro tips for someone who's new to cooking? Yes. Pro tip for my new cooks. Get my book. It's on the carousel. Get it. It'll work. It'll help you. Otherwise, like I said, just get in the kitchen. You have to throw yourself in the kitchen and just do it. Even if you pull up a recipe on the internet and say, okay, I want to learn how to make chicken franchise. It doesn't matter. You don't have to start fancy. Start simple. Just learn the mechanics of heat management and cooking a piece of meat or making a sauce. And then you just keep going. Don't stop. Don't get scared if something doesn't work, okay? Some of the best dishes were mistakes in the kitchen. Some of the best dishes were mistakes in the kitchen. Anybody love creme brulee, that custard with the sugar burnt on top? That was a mistake in the kitchen, okay? So there's many stories about recipes like that, so don't be afraid. Well, we have a very apropos question on the board right there. What is my favorite cocktail? Well, my favorite cocktails might happen to be something called Freitag cocktails, which is my line of bottled cocktails that just came out. Woo! The crowd goes wild. They are so delicious, and they are boozy AF. We have a margarita, we have a Negroni, and we have a Manhattan. So those are my favorite. But those three are actually my favorite cocktails. That's why I made those. I just like starting the night off with a Negroni on the rocks. It gets your appetite going. It's actually digestive, gets those digestive enzymes working. And then margaritas all day, every day. Tacos and margaritas, come on, what's better than that? And then a Manhattan just kind of finishes the night. It's kind of sexy. It's a great nightcap. Okay, you're right, Ariane. How many times have I said that in my life? She's laughing because she likes being right. Who doesn't? Yeah, this is hot. All right, I'm gonna whisk in these yolks really fast. Anybody who's watching is like, what's gonna happen to Chef Amanda? She's gonna curdle her curd. Not gonna happen, not today, people, not today. So when you have something like this and you can't control your heat, take it off the heat, right? Like I said, you're in control the whole time. Take it off the heat, put it back on the heat when you feel like you're ready or the heat has lowered, and keep going. And then you thicken and thicken and thicken. All right, we only have a couple of minutes left, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and literally put this on the back burner. Careful, everyone, this is hot. Don't touch, it's hot. And by so much magic, we have things that are finished already. So this is what the curd will look like. After you strain it out, we would do this. This was what we were gonna do. You strain it. Why do I strain it? Just because you don't want to have any eggy bits or anything that thickened in there. You want it to be nice and smooth. And then you chill it. Look at that. I mean, honestly, who needs a cookie for this? I could just eat it like that. And this goes great on, like I was saying before, like a shortcake, or you could put this on a pavlova. Anybody know what a pavlova is? One of my favorite things. It is a meringue that's cooked and it's like crispy on the outside and marshmallowy on the inside. Let me just give you a demonstration because you may not know how to do this. Take finished cookie, dip in curd. Don't double dip. Cooking. Oh my God, it's so good. Okay, if you guys don't make that go viral, you are no longer my friends. Cookies and curd, people. Okay, so we're not going to roll out cookies today, but roll this out. What I have is an old school ruler, and yes, it is on sale right now. Find it, get it. You roll this out to about, what do we say, about a half, quarter inch, and then you measure, right? That's why we have beautiful, perfect cookies here. We measure them. We go about 2 by 2. We measure them after rolling them, or you can use a set of round cutters. These are the most useful things in the kitchen, as well as the microplane. There's so many different sizes. You can cut cookies, you can cut bread, you can cut just about anything with these. These are a chef's essential kit. If you go into any professional kitchen right now, you will find one of these, but you will find it looking like this. All of the good ones are gone, and all the cooks are in trouble for not putting them back because the pastry chef is pissed right now. Anyway, get yourself some of these. Get yourself some soft dough and roll it out. We are going to get that coffee cake out of the oven. Do you guys think it's done? No, it's not done. But guess what? We have a coffee cake magic of TV. Ha ha. Is done, and we're gonna cut it up. We even have some coffee to drink with it. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a coffee lover. Nice and strong. This French press is adorable. Get it, buy it, have it, love it. Mother's Day is coming up, you guys. What are you gonna get your mom? What are you gonna get her? French press, a cake stand, this pan, my book. Hey, it's all good options. beautiful blue plate. Little cup of coffee, as we say in Jersey. Anybody else from Jersey? Sam wants to know what my favorite late night snack is. Oh my God, Sam. Okay, Sam, I am a tortilla chip and salsa and guac. I love salty. I like dipping it into something creamy. That's a good, crunchy late night snack. Okay, I'm cutting these into all different sizes because I want to have some. I want to share with all my friends. What you don't see is all these people working hard behind the cameras. Everybody give them a hand. Yes, yes, yes. You never get to see those people. There they are. They're hungry. They want coffee cake. They want a cup of coffee. Okay, big reveal. Drum roll, please. This is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, don't forget those little nibbly bits with the blueberry. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. And it's 100% blue diamond almond flour. Gluten-free, vegan, paleo, it's everything. And my favorite thing is delicious. Oh, melts in your mouth. Melts. Okay, so you can put a few out. They won't last long. They're going to go fast. Everybody's going to take them. Can't have coffee cake, though, without a little bit of sugar on top. So we're going to get one more there. And then we're going to give it a nice, oh, maybe one more. It's Instagrammable, guys. Come on. This is going to my favorite crew behind me. And then this is so cute. It's so cute. Put some sugar in here. This looks like an old school sifter. I really love it. So you just go ahead and top it off. Oh, or you have a classic one like this, a little shake, and shake that on your cookies. It changes everything with a little bit of sugar on top, right? Somebody said it looks amazing. It is amazing. Angela wants to know, what should I get her? What's your favorite product from the line street? Listen, you know your mom better than anybody else. Does she like to bake? Get her one of these pans. I have to show you the lid. Where's the lid, you guys? It's amazing. The lid for that pan is fantastic. You can travel with it. It was underneath, says Ariane. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Look. Okay, so you took out your pieces, right? And you're like, okay, I'm going to bring some to mom. Be nice, bring her the whole thing, but I'm just saying. You put that on top. You travel with that. I walked down 34th Street today with this thing. It was perfect. It's perfect. Get her that. Yep, mom will be happy. Okay, wait a minute. Where's my little shake of sugar? I need a little shake of sugar on my coffee cake. Oh, gosh. You guys have got me nervous now. Okay, so of course, these are just 2 recipes. There's infinite possibilities with almond flour. If you're looking for more inspiration, follow along on my Instagram. Over the spring and the summer, I'll be posting some other favorite recipes. Check them out. I'm going to use blue diamond almond flour. I'm going to use it until I can't think of another recipe to make. Whether your friends or family have gluten allergies or other dietary restrictions, almond flour is often an awesome alternative. Come on, you guys. Just enjoy the taste of it. That's what I keep saying. It's just delicious AF, right? So go to bluediamond.com to find like the exact measurements from this recipe. Check out my easy AF videos and recipes. They're all over the place. Bluediamond.com, mandafriedeg.com, all my socials, and then send me yours. Honestly, take a picture of what you make and send it to me. People always think I don't want to hear what they make or they don't want me to hear about their dishes. I want to hear. It doesn't matter. You guys are so creative. So what I've come to find is like home cooks have to get super creative. Anybody else have questions? Oh, somebody wants to know how the exact quote is, how do you take your coffee, queen? Hot, like I like my coffee. And if you missed any part of this live, you can go back and watch on demand anytime, especially while you're baking it. You can bake along with me now or later. And a reminder, everything I use to make the dish, say it together everybody, is my favorite word of the day, shoppable. I'm going to take a bite. If you have any more questions, send them in. Send me a DM. Message me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Send me an email. Send me a carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. I will answer your cooking questions. But I will be here eating almond coffee cake. I'll be dipping cookies in curd. There might be some champagne in the refrigerator. I'm not sure. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for inspiring me every day. Thank you for being fans. Thank you for watching along with Easy AF. Blue Diamond almond flour is easy AF and delicious. You guys give it a try. I hope this inspires you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy spring. I will see you really soon. And I'm just going to keep eating. You guys should just tune in and watch me eat. It's fun. Does anybody want to watch me open a bottle of champagne? No, or not?